2 hours ago. And so I'd like to call Brian Sumke up on stage, the CEO of Carta Worldwide.
Okay. How do we make this go? Okay. Well, as an engineer, I've been involved in solving, I'm a software guy, and I solve a lot of problems. I've been thinking about solving a lot of problems, and normally I speak to rooms of men, but I see there's a lot of women here. Lucky for you, been married for 35 years, and I have 4 daughters, so if you ladies feel that you need to finish my sentences, don't worry, I'll just do it. There's lots of changes going on in banking, and the reason I founded Carta was in 2007, I believed that banking was going to change dramatically. That the kinds of companies that were going to come into the world would, whether they were money transfer companies or new, in this case, new currencies, there would be a lot of new methods, and that the traditional banks that have been around for decades and decades and decades, the way they were going to do business was going to be under siege by many, many new kinds of fintech companies. And the other thing that was going to change was payments, the way people purchase things. I believe that those things were going to change, and I believe that over time you would see lots of new entrants into the market, and that people would largely use this mobile phone as their primary method of conducting commerce. Those are the 2 theses behind which we founded our business. And what we are is a processor of transactions. And so very simplistically, to tell you what it is that we do as our core deliverable is when you stick a credit card or some kind of payment device into a point of sale machine, and that signal goes off to your bank who have given you that card, we are the people there that sit on behalf of the bank that says approved or decline that transaction. That's what we do. We approve and decline transactions on behalf of financial institutions. So no one really knows us. We sit underneath all of this. We're plumbers. We're electronic plumbers, and not very sexy, but it's very important stuff. Reminds me of when I went to engineering school. My civil engineering professor said to me, and we were learning how to design sewer systems, he said, look, it may be shit to you, but it's bread and butter to me. So when we built this infrastructure that could do all these fancy things, because processors in the world that are running the world were written 40 years ago, 50 years ago in languages like COBOL that no one even teaches anymore, and there are no more COBOL programmers, and they can't do modern things. And that's really the reason that we built our company and who we are. And so our first project was with MasterCard and Visa, and that led to a project where the result of that was Apple Pay was developed. So I know you all know what Apple Pay is, and we are intimately involved in the creation of solving a problem of how to get mobile phones to communicate with point-of-sale devices. And one of the projects we worked on resulted in... More, if you are in... any Spanish people here? No Spaniards? No we got people from UK, Netherlands, Germany, Italy. Anybody from those countries?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, hey.
In those countries, there's a small telco there called Vodafone, who are bringing out a product called the Vodafone Wallet. And so if you went and got that product, you could load in a number of different credit cards, a number of things. We built that product for Vodafone. So we are the underlying technology. Again, no one ever hears of us. They hear of Apple Pay, they hear of Vodafone, they don't really know us. So Vodafone, that's our brand. There's another little company that we've recently been working with to allow them to gain access to the world's point-of-sale devices. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called PayPal.
Wow.
And most recently, when you think about trust, can you imagine, 5 years ago, would you get into a car, go to the airport with somebody you didn't know and, give them $50? Probably wouldn't. So there's this new little company that's come onto the market called Uber, which you now trust. The idea of getting into a car, giving somebody you don't know some money because they built a system of trust. And we have that's been our most recent project. And now, our sixth biggest project that's coming along is...
Dascoin.
We're going to... I want to set your expectations correctly. This is not trivial to be able to take a cryptocurrency and make it work at the world's point-of-sale devices. That's not a trivial job by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm here really to try to understand. I don't understand cryptocurrency, so this is really my first introduction. I'm just an electronic plumber. And so I'm here to learn that and to complete our agreement with Dascoin and to get involved in what looks to me as a very exciting project. And the goal of that is to allow you to spend your cryptocurrency anywhere you want in the world.
Wow.
We've done it for others. We've studied the problems. We can do it for you.
Perfect.
And we're going to complete our agreements and get on with the task. And hopefully with, I think I hate to set these kinds of expectations, but I know that that's in your mind as to when you can probably have this.
Tomorrow.
The fastest that I can see us doing something would be before the end of the year. Hello, the fastest. That's when you put your rose-colored glasses on and look at the answer. But I think this time next year is a more likely time frame to, because it's we've already had this compliance and regulations, and it's really tough. The anti-money laundering laws and terrorism and all those things come into play here, and so the technology actually isn't the hard part. That's the easy part. We can, the technology we've already done, we can build it. It's making the technology work inside an extremely difficult compliance world, and every country is different. That said, we will succeed.